The wind on Kale-9 tastes of iron and ozone, carrying the scent of distant plasma storms across the violet grasslands that roll like an endless sea to the horizon. This is the galactic frontier, where the outer rim colonies scrape a living from soil seeded by long-dead terraformers, and where the true rulers of the planet still thunder beneath twin suns, the Veyari. They are not horses. They never were. From orbit they look like liquid starlight poured over living bone, six-legged predators, whose manes are cascades of bioluminescent filaments that shift color with emotion, whose eyes hold the cold blue fire of dying nebulae. Millennia ago, the first colonists brought their pack beasts docile, four-limbed, engineered for obedience. A containment breach, a solar flare that fried every obedience implant on the continent, and the animals fled into the grasslands. What returned generations later was something else entirely. Evolution, accelerated by Kale-9's mutagenic radiation, had sculpted them into apex majesty. 12 feet at the shoulder, hooves that fracture stone, a second heart that beats only when they choose to run, and a mind ancient, proud, and utterly untamable. She was the most magnificent I have ever seen. I remember the day the capture drones herded her herd toward the auction domes at Port Caligo. She had been shielding a foal, teeth bared at the sky, plasma mane flaring violet-white in challenge. The stun lances took her down last. After she shattered 3 drones and left a 4th spiraling into the dust like a broken star, adult, full prime, a queen of the deep grass, they pinned her in a containment arena of durasteel and force walls. The auctioneer, a nervous little man with too many eyes, started the bidding high. No one moved. Then she decided she was done waiting. She lowered her great head and charged the lowest crossbeam 3 meters of reinforced alloy meant to hold freighters in dry dock. The beam groaned. She set her forelegs, secondary knees locking, and pushed. Filaments along her neck ignited in furious gold. Veins like molten rivers stood beneath her opalescent hide. The beam snapped with a sound like a railgun firing inside a cathedral. Shards of metal screamed through the air. She staggered, blood streaming from a gash along her crest, but rose defiant, 6 legs planted like pillars of creation, mane blazing solar flare white. The auctioneer, voice trembling, began lowering the price in reverse. Still no bids. A creature that could break durasteel with her spine was no one's work animal. When the price fell to the equivalent of butcher's meat, my friend Jocks raised his hand. Jocks was a good man, quiet, stubborn, in the gentle way of people who have lost too much to waste breath on anger. He had ridden a half-breed Veyari 4 years, one of the rare captives taken as a foal, still mostly wild but willing. That mount had carried him through 3 sandfire storms and once dragged him, half dead from plasma burns, 80 kilometers to safety. Jocks wanted the real thing, the blood of the deep grass. He bought her for less than the cost of a used landspeeder. Getting her home was its own war. By the time the reinforced trailer reached his homestead, half the grav plating was shredded, the interior walls scored by claws that left glowing scars. We backed the trailer against the only stall on Kale-9 rated for megaphonic carbon weave walls to meters thick. No corners, no leverage. She exploded out like a supernova given flesh, a storm of teeth and lightning mane. For 3 days the planet's twin suns rose and set on the sound of shattering composite in her. Roar, a subsonic thing that rattled teeth in our skulls. On the 3rd day she finally drank. I was the only one she did not try to kill on sight. I still don't know why. Maybe because I never lied to her with my body language. Maybe because I smelled of the grasslands on my coat. Maybe the ancient ones simply choose, and there is no reasoning with starborn whim. Old Marek helped us born on the high plateaus where the Veyari still hunt star whales. She hated him with a hatred that felt older than language. Every time he approached, her mane darkened to the color of neutron star collapse, and the air around her ionized until the hairs on our arms lifted. We worked her in shifts. Jocks' half-breed Kestrel bore the worst of it. She would run him until his heart stuttered, then stand over him, nostrils flaring, mane flickering with cruel amusement while he trembled and foamed at the mouth. "Is that all you've got?" I could touch her, eventually, slowly. Only with empty hands she could see. Her hide was warm as sun-warmed stone and shifted color beneath my palm storm cloud gray to starfield indigo to the deep violet of grief. When we saddled her, a grav saddle built for armored cavalry. She stood still, but her eyes never left Jock's. Something ancient and wicked looked out of those nebular depths. I felt it then, the way you feel a storm front before the sky bruises. This is wrong. Jock's mounted anyway. She let him settle, tested his balance with 2 lazy hops that cracked the ground. Then she grinned, yes, grinned, lips peeling back from ivory fangs the length of forearms, and bolted for the razor vine thickets beyond the fence. Jock's bailed an instant before the vines would have flayed him to bone. She stopped on the far side, turned and waited, mane dancing like Aurora's, daring him to try again. She could have kept running. The fence was nothing to her. Instead, she chose the game, the war of wills. She wanted him broken or dead by her own will. The last day Marek was there, the rope slackened for 1 heartbeat. She spun a motion to fast for eyes to follow, hurled Jock's into the dust, and came for Marek with murder singing in every filament of her mane. The rope caught a tree. She went down hard, my weight the only thing keeping her skull to the ground. She looked up at me, confusion, the wild grief of a creature that had trusted too much and too little, while behind me Marek screamed, legs shattered against the trunk. After that, even Jock's knew then, she was never going to submit. She stayed only to finish what she had started, his death beneath her hooves. A final lesson that the grass remembers what cages forget. He gave her to me. I built her a circle of force posts on the edge of my claim wide enough that the sky felt real again. She could have leapt it, torn it down, vanished into the violet sea. She stayed for 7 sunsets. I sat with her each dusk, speaking softly of nothing, while my toddler son watched from the porch with huge eyes. Then one evening he escaped his mother as toddlers do, toddled across the yard, and fell hard against a metal feed bucket. The clang was sharp as a gunshot in the quiet. She flinched so violently she nearly broke her own neck, wheeling away, trying not to crush me. For one instant I saw terror, pure, ancient, full-protecting terror, and I understood. Every loud noise was the drone swarm come again to steal her young. After that I couldn't touch her either. Trust once shattered does not regrow. 2 days later the circle was empty. She had simply walked through the force posts as though they were mist and headed east toward the deep grass where the herds still run beneath alien stars. We found her a sanctuary moon in the end, a protected reserve where no drones fly and the Veyari roam a continent larger than old Earth. I like to think that somewhere out there, beneath unfamiliar constellations, a great 6-legged queen with a scar along her crest still races the plasma storms, mane blazing white, forever free. Jock's never blamed her. Marek healed and never spoke of it again. Both were good men. Both understood too late the same truth. Some creatures are not meant to be owned. They are the wind-given bone and lightning. They are the living memory of a planet that was wild long before we arrived with our cages and our loneliness. If one of them pauses at the edge of your firelight someday, lowers that starfire mane, and allows your trembling hand upon her neck, be grateful. Speak softly. Do not reach for the rope. Cherish the moment for what it is, a visit from something older and greater than humanity. Then let her go. The grass is waiting.